Kim Strassel, our Washington columnist. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, Jason.
So a couple weeks ago, you wrote a very interesting column that got quite a bit of attention about President Obama's attempts to intimidate contributors to Mitt Romney's campaign. Why don't you tell us about how you came about that across that story and why you decided to write a follow-up column for tomorrow, Kim?
So what happened is about 3 weeks ago, one of President Obama's campaign sites called Keeping GOP Honest published this quite extraordinary post in which it said a look behind the curtain at some of Romney's donors, and it actually named and shamed 8 private individuals who had donated money to the cause of Mitt Romney being elected president. Now, this was sort of astonishing. You don't have a president do this. It makes people think back to Nixon's enemies list. This is the most powerful man in the world, and when he goes out and fingers someone and says you're a bad individual, you know, the worry is that there will be some sort of repercussions. And the reason I'm writing about it a couple of weeks later now is because there have been some repercussions. One of the men who was on the list has been discovered as having his private life trolled through by some sort of outside investigator looking for dirt on him.
Okay. Kim, has the administration, or I should say the Obama campaign, said anything in defense of this website and what you've written about?
Nobody seems to have said anything about that particular post or any of the response to it. They put these websites up. It's one of a number of websites that they were put up earlier in the year, and they justified this on the argument. They call it part of their truth squad. And they argue that they're going to go out there and tell the American voters the truth about their opponents and everything else. So everything they write seems to have been pre-justified in a way. They argue that this is just them defending themselves and letting people know the truth.
Okay. And the Idaho businessman that you mentioned earlier, I believe you spoke to him. What was his reaction to what's happening?
Well, this is really slimy. This man, his name is Frank Vandersloot. He runs a company out in Idaho. It's a wellness products firm. And about a week after the Obama campaign put up this posting, a man began calling or getting in touch with the Bonneville County Courthouse, demanding to get access to Mr. Vandersloot's prior divorce records and also some business disputes that he had had over the years. And so I talked to him, and he said that at first he was very disturbed by the fact that he'd been put on the list and that this seemed to be some sort of outcropping of that. But he also said the more he'd thought about it, he'd become a little bit more defiant. And he said, look, this is America. You can't use tactics like this. And he said that he was actually considering making another donation as a result.